I did it last night, so
I know.
it's your turn.
Okay. Hi, welcome to the Minnesota Pubcast, but I have to tell Molly something, and it'll be funny to the listeners as well. But Dubé has mentioned multiple times how when he worked with Paul Allen, they would come back from break, and PA would just go, yada,
and point
and
to
just throw it, and
point
go,
to
Jeff,
Dubé.
now it's on you. Like, yada, that's it. Like, what the fuck? And it was funny, and I know it's not all what you were doing, but we started the show, and I kind of assumed I was going to intro it, but I looked up, and you're kind of like, all right, go.
As I'm drinking my beer with my mic down.
Oh, totally just reminded me of just the yada. All right, it's on you now.
Yada.
All right, so we're going to get into what we didn't get into last night, because the feel last night, and you should go listen to last night's show, learn about Nurse Fest. Last night was just a fun show. Dear buddy, what's his last name? It's Sam. Gondek. And that was really fun.
You know what his middle name is?
No.
It's so cool.
What?
His middle name is Severin.
Severin?
Yeah. Isn't that cool? So we call him, Sevy.
Yeah. He
has lots of different names.
Who's he named after? What was the
I think
Severin?
it's a family name because his brother's name, his brother's first name is Severin.
Interesting.
Isn't that sweet? I should have mentioned that last night. He could have given us because he has one of the coolest middle names.
Yeah, that kicks mine in the ass.
Right? Me too. Mine's boring as fuck.
Yeah, mine's totally boring too. Okay, well, let's get into a little bit of a serious topic to start out here. Let's get into the Indiana law. Now, there's breaking news. First of all, if you've been underground for the last few days, you don't know that they passed a law, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which, as it's like military intelligence or a lot of the other oxymorons in government, it's the opposite of what it proposed to be. But there's a backlash in both Arkansas and Indiana, and now they've updated their laws and basically made the laws moot. But we'll get further into that in a minute. When do we want to play this audio?
I think
is this fitting just to throw out there, or
I think we should play it right away. I mean, so just to preface this whole thing, there haven't been many businesses that have come out and said, "Well, thank God this law passed because we're going to enforce the shit out of it." Right? Most businesses, whether it's huge businesses like corporations like Walmart or other small businesses, have come out and said, everyone is welcome in our business. Mm-hmm. How many times can I say business, do you think?
Keep going.
Okay, great.
It's like Tony Dean with narrative on Wild Wednesday. Anyway.
And they put signs on their businesses that have, welcome signs. But not with this pizza place in small town Indiana. That's not the case for them. So this is their story.
Oh, hold on.
Little town, Walker, Kentucky.
With the small town ideals.
We're a Christian establishment.
They pride themselves in owning a business that reflects their religious beliefs.
We're not discriminating against anyone. It's just that's our belief. And everybody has the right to believe anything.
So when Governor Pence signed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act into law, the family was not disappointed.
We definitely agree with the bill.
I asked her about the negative backlash it's been getting for being a discriminatory legislation. Her response:
I do not think it is targeting gays. Person. I don't think it's a discrimination.
She believes it's a way to protect businesses like hers.
Oh, it's supposed to help people that have a religious belief.
She says because she is a Christian, she and her family don't support gay marriage, and that is their right.
I agree with the bill.
Kevin O'Connor is Crystal's father, and you could say he's set in his ways. He believes the negative backlash the bill and its supporters are getting isn't fair.
That's a lifestyle that you choose. I choose to be heterosexual. They choose to be homosexual. Why should I be beat over the head because they choose that lifestyle?
I'd like to see him beat over the head with a dildo.
Big old dildo.
That would mess his world up. You actually skip this back because I'm going to play music on there too.
Sure.
Okay. That is kind of the whole thing in a nutshell, right? Because I think everyone else is against it, and then you have those people. You have people that think that this is somehow protecting their religious freedom. Now, I want to go controversial right away, and I want to get your take on it, because I think this all kind of goes back to, and I don't remember what state it was in, or maybe it was because of Obamacare, the whole backlash on the being covered for what am I trying to say?
For birth control.
Thank you, Jesus Christ.
If you're a corporation, you don't believe in birth control, you can deny the right to cover your employees.
Could you right away, or Obamacare didn't allow that, and they fought for that? Isn't that kind of how it went?
They fought for that, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
It was a court decision that was brought on by Hobby Lobby.
Now, I don't support discrimination, and I definitely don't support laws that discriminate. But I understood, at least. I can at least understand the perspective of a pro-life person saying, I don't want my company paying for someone to do something that is diametrically opposed to my beliefs and what I consider to be murder. That, whether you agree with them doesn't really necessarily matter. It's the fact that that is how they look at it. And I do think that if you have a business, you should be able to decide what you, even what you cover medically, period, actually, if it's your own business. Now, the government can't. And I think that that's the part about this law that I think is maybe being kind of missed, too, is that the whole, we have it in the Constitution. We have the Religious Restoration Act in the federal government, just in the law. This is already covered. You can't really discriminate per se against homosexuality, right? Before this law, you still couldn't necessarily do it, right?
I don't think so. I would say no.
So what this was is it was just a step backward.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
And it's.
I mean,
it's covered up as a step forward, which is really funny.
Sure, but that's how a lot of these conservative, in opposition to all these gay marriage laws that are moving forward, like legalizing gay marriage and things like that, and protecting gay rights. A lot of the opposition laws have come out of religious freedom, because that's the only way that they can somehow cover up their, use their homophobia is under the guise of religious freedom, right?
Yeah. Well, in their homophobia, I believe them is based in their religion.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that it's a skewed view, but I do think that is where they're getting it from.
Right, but that's the whole point, because we have religious freedom in this country, and we also have the people's right to human rights. So it's hard, because this law, they're using something that we do have as American citizens. They're using it to their advantage to discriminate.
Well, okay.
If that makes sense.
I understand.
It's complicated, because
it is complicated
because we're you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. Okay. All right.
God, so it's just.
Here, okay, now I want to take it to...
I've been perplexed by this shit.
I want to take this to the other level, the next level, though. And then I'll tell you why I asked this question. But the question is, should it be illegal for me to own a store that sells, let's say, it's a shoe store, okay? So it's not a controversial item.
Sure.
Shoe store. Not wedding cakes or anything like that.
I don't think pizza's that controversial.
True, but shoe store's even less. Like, I just feel like it's
because everyone should be allowed
everybody
the right
needs shoes. Not everybody likes pizza. Everybody kind of needs shoes.
Not everybody likes pizza.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what no, not everyone. There's got to be at least a 5% out there.
I don't know.
I don't want to know those people.
I don't want to know.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you.
Well, okay, so I've made this argument before, back when I was a super conservative guy, and now I still think this argument can be made. If I choose to open that shoe store and I say that I will only serve customers between 5'4" and 5'8" with red hair, that's all I will let into my store.
Right, so you're discriminating.
I'm discriminating against everyone that's outside of those parameters,
yes.
Right? Very specific parameters, too. Do you think that discrimination right there should be illegal? Should it be against the law for me to choose that customer base?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I think any whether it's a physical trait, sexual orientation, race, something that you don't decide, which is why I thought the guy in this video, right, something that you don't decide.
Right.
When you're saying you don't have a choice on who you are, but therefore I'm going to not serve you, and I'm a business owner, that's discrimination, so therefore that should be illegal.
But it's my business. It's private. Because what you're saying,
Sure.
and I'm not even necessarily making this
Right,
argument. I just
right.
think it's an interesting argument. But like for sure, the government can't do this. We have to make sure the government doesn't discriminate on anything like
Yes.
you said that you can't choose. And that's what the Constitution is protecting us against. But if I open that shoe store, especially let's say I open that shoe store in I don't know a mostly Hispanic neighborhood, you think that shoe store is going to do very well? No one's going to come to that store. And I would even even if you broaden it out too. Let's take it to what they're talking about. Let's say I discriminate against gays. Don't you think that because of the majority of people are open-minded, that your store's not going to last very long if you discriminate that way? And I guess here's the question here's where I'm leading to. When we force this by law, like the civil rights, Brown versus Board of Education, when you force the stopping of people's beliefs through law, which you don't stop the belief, you just stop the action.
Sure.
Do we just end up with what we've been talking about for pretty much the entire time you and I have been doing this show, where we still have all of this racial conflict in this country? So, let's see if I can put this question into a smaller phrase. Is trying to force people to open their mind working?
No, I don't think it will ever work. I don't think law, but whether or not they like it, they have to serve everybody. Unless.
But does that just cause more resentment? That's what I'm getting at. Does it make it worse, maybe?
Oh no, I don't give a shit how much the pizza owners are always going to hate the gays. Let's be real, right? Like no matter what.
And that's a broad statement, by the way. That's every pizza owner across the globe.
No, I don't think, and I don't give a shit whether it makes them hate them more or not.
See, I want that to be the right mentality. I want that to be the right mentality. I want to say,
no.
I don't care if you're racist. Fuck you. The black people get to go on the bus, and they're not having these separate fucking water fountains and segregation in schools and all that. I get that we that is the right mentality to have. I think that we're obviously on the right side of history there. But I don't know. I mean, I think that, and I don't know that much about Europe, but I know that racism over there is really bad too. I mean, you got guys getting bananas thrown at them on soccer fields and shit. Like, that does not happen in America. LeBron James has never been hit by a banana. Like, they take it to a whole new level over there. That is soccer hooliganism a bit. That's a different level too.
I was like, I'm trying to think of what you're talking about.
But I'm saying that I think that, that's a much more liberal, progressive society. I think we take after them. We follow them in a lot of ways.
I hope so. I hope so.
So what I'm saying is I wonder if they're faking it, basically. And maybe that's the answer, too. Maybe, at the very least, we fake it. Because isn't that at least better than fucking open discrimination, which is disgusting? But I just really wonder... I mean, the fact that in 2015 this law was even passed...
Okay.
We're not... I don't know if we're really crossing... Or if we're really getting anywhere.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, my issue with this is that the freedom of religion in this country means you have the freedom to practice any religion you want. You can go to your religious institution or into your home or whatever it is and practice your religion. When you open a business, that isn't practicing your religion. Like, you're running a business for the public, and so
I think a lot of people don't separate the two.
No, but they need to, because they're not. People are combine the business with their religious beliefs so much. You're running a fucking pizza place, dude. Like,
but I think you should have the right to have a Christian pizza place.
But it's not infringing upon their ability to practice their religion.
Yeah,
they can still be
yes.
They can still be Christian while delivering pizza to gay people.
What about the the gay part is so messed up. That's why I want to take it to Let's go back to the birth control. What do you say to that, though? Do you think that a person that owns a company that's religious should be forced to go? I mean, that's going against your religious beliefs, is it not?
No.
No, you don't think so?
No.
How is it not?
Absolutely not, because you are not...
You're supporting something you are diametrically opposed.
No, you aren't supporting it. I think that you are allowing your employees to do what they need to do to have the access to the health care that they want. That doesn't mean that you have to do it.
See, I think you should be able to hire people that, if you believe in birth control, they don't have to hire you. I honestly think you should be able to have that much control because I don't
But
think
you're-
those
but you're
businesses are going to
mixing-
survive. Like, I
Okay,
think
but that's not a good enough reason to have that opportunity in place.
opportunity. What do you mean?
To have
What
the
opportunity is being taken away from anyone? The pizza
Okay.
place doesn't have to exist.
I know, but you just said you would think that those businesses that denied people the rights, like to birth control
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is, you say, oh well, they're just going to shut down anyway. They're not gonna. So might
If it's that big of a
as
deal,
well
but
give
they
them
will.
might as well give them the opportunity to deny people birth control because they're just going to shut down anyway. It doesn't matter. Like
Yeah,
that's not a
absolutely.
good enough because
No,
they
because
may
then
or may
they-
not
but that-
shut.
the-
Because they may or may not shut down is not a good enough reason to give them the right to deny people what they want.
The argument here is freedom. I do believe they should have the freedom to run whatever kind of business they want to and deny service and provide it to anyone they want
I think
to.
when you open a business, you in some ways become a public commodity, and you are not. That does not include discrimination.
That's the debate. That is the debate, and I'm not. That's where this is. I'm totally open
there are
to
plenty
all
other
this.
ways to. There's plenty other ways to run your business. It's almost like a separation of church and state. When you run a business, you become part of the state. You are no longer a part of the church.
See, and I hate that. I hate that you automatically become a public thing just because you sell things to the public. That doesn't, because I mean, and don't get me wrong, I have benefited from this. I work in a restaurant and I frequent restaurants. We're at a restaurant right now. I don't want to be around smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. Even if I did, I don't like it in bars. It's
But,
gross
okay,
internally.
sure.
But I
So
don't
what
think
are you
that
gonna
should have been forced upon the bar owners.
But you are being direct. When people are smoking in a restaurant, you are being directly affected by
I don't have to go to
secondhand
the
smoke.
restaurant. I don't have to go to the restaurant. Nobody forced me to go there. That's what I'm getting at with the pizza thing. Like, they can discriminate against gays because the gays can go to Pizza Hut or Domino's or make their own pizza. They can
But
create
that's not
their
the
own
point.
pizza restaurant.
You should never be forced to go somewhere else because you're being discriminated the place that you want to go.
I don't think you just have the right
Like,
to go
just
anywhere you
because-
want.
just
That's
because-
not your store. It's not your restaurant. It's not
But
your bar.
right,
It's not your place.
you're-
It's not yours.
But you're
so why do you
supporting
have a right
business.
to anything?
You're not doing anything that is, unless if you are walking into a business and taking away money somehow, whether it's being a vandal, stealing money, whether if it's ruining the business from the core, from actually running a business and making money. No, you are not allowed to go in there. But being black, being gay, having certain religious beliefs, that does not stop you from. That does not ruin the business in itself. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but you're defining what ruining a business is. If I'm a white racist, black people coming into my business ruins the fucking business. The business is dead.
I'm talking
Like,
from the core of a business model for being able to make money
Right.
at what a business does.
But
that
that's
does
the- you're-
not stop you from doing that.
You're not talking about freedom, though. Because you're still, I get where you're coming at it from on the freedom side of one group. And I do think that business owners are also free. And they also get to choose what kind of business they want to run. And again, I almost wish they could be more open about it, to be honest, because then we would know which ones to not frequent. I mean, how often do you hear you find out some CEO of some corporation you never knew was a complete racist or homophobe or something? You would have gone, well, shit, I wouldn't have shopped there to begin with. If you just knew he was a jerk,
But
you wouldn't go buy his products.
You're putting too much. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I don't think people are going to always hear that this business goes against their moral beliefs and therefore they're not going to shop there anymore. That doesn't happen as much as we would like it to. As much as you say they're just going to go to business because what they say is morally wrong to the general population, that's not going to happen. These pizza memories, whatever the fuck it's called, they might go to business now. But
Yeah, I think they did.
I don't know.
But they just got a
Or
$200,000
or-
donation. I
Yeah,
heard, too,
sure.
so-
Or you get all the people
Or
that
you're getting the religious
completely
nuts that'll come
agree
out,
with what they're doing and the law, and they come in and support the business. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think you're thinking that things that are take a strong stance on something that probably we don't agree with, discrimination, be number one. I think they survive longer than you want them to.
That's kind of my point, though. My point is that it's fake. That there are a bunch of people in Indiana that do want this law. There are people that do think that homosexuals are evil.
Then that's too fucking bad for them. I mean, what do you mean it's fake? If you're going to be a business owner, you can't discriminate. That's like the end of story.
But again, until you take away rights from someone, I believe you can do whatever you want. And no one's right is being taken away from you if they say you can't come into a restaurant. That's not a right of yours. It's a private fucking building that they can lock the door to everyone if they want to.
You're not, but yes, it is a right. You do have a right to go buy something from someone unless whoever you want. That is an inherent...
Where do you get that right? Where is that right?
I don't know, dude.
Honestly, where is that right? That's not a constitutional right. That's not a... There's no basis for that. It's...
Okay, everyone should go fucking just discriminate. I guess
we discriminate all the time. That's kind of my point. You can't let government discriminate, but private people discriminate all the time.
But once you open a business, you become
part
of the market, and discrimination does nothing for your business, and it does nothing for the general public, and that is the whole point of why anti-discrimination laws are there. Discriminating isn't going to help you, and by not letting certain people in also isn't. It's not going
to... But by that logic, there's all kinds of practices businesses could take that they wouldn't help them. Should we force them by law to not do those things? Like that to me, that's not an argument. Law should be based on whether you should be free or whether or not people's rights are being taken away. And I'm not sure where rights are being taken away here.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're disagreeing, because if someone says you're white, you can't come into my business, my rights are going to be taken away to be able to shop where I want. I'd like to use the free market. I guess I can look up where like my right to go shopping where I want is, as long as I'm not damaging a business in any way, not from a mental perspective, from a business perspective. I'm somehow damaging their ability to make money.
Explain that again. What do you mean you're damaging?
You keep saying, well, if a black person walked into some white supremacist store, they would think to themselves, they're taking, they're ruining my business.
Yeah.
They're not. I'm talking from a business perspective. Like, anyone walking into a business isn't ruining a business.
Will you agree that that's subjective? What ruins a business or not? Is that subjective? Or are you just basing it on money?
I'm basing it on
fiscal success.
What is a business supposed to do? It's supposed to make the owners money. And if it's not making them money, the business is not being successful.
Remember this argument when we go on a whole different anti-CEO rant or something? Because to me, I've heard a lot of people on the other side of the aisle. I guess I don't like to consider myself on one side, but they would make that exact opposite argument that no, the point of business is also to be part of the community, and it's a bigger thing than just making money, which to me would make your argument better. I think that there's a social contract. I think is what you're even kind of trying to say. If the second you open your doors to a business, you are saying, I'm now part of the community and I'm subject to different laws than just having a home.
Yes.
I think that you can make a case for that.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I think you can also make that case, though, that...
if you are... Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. That's really what I'm saying. I mean, that is the point of the business.
Yeah, and that's where
fiscally, and you can do whatever you want with that money. Whether you can be a business and donate to anti-gay donate to anti-gay lobbying. If that's how you want to be a part of your community, that's how you do it. But you cannot. I think from a legal perspective and from a human rights perspective, if you're going to open a business, you cannot discriminate who walks in your door and who buys your products, because they are not stopping you from being fiscally successful.
Let me make a really bullshit argument for the sake of it.
No, I'm not.
What if I'm 19 and I want a beer?
Well, there's a law in place.
What right do you have to discriminate against me?
There's a law in place that says you cannot.
I'm just saying. Even the law has to discriminate.
And therefore, you're going to get ticketed if So you're not being fiscally successful there if you sell to a 19-year-old, and you could get a $5,000 fine or get shut down.
The law part, right? But that's what I'm just saying. No, but yes, that would be legal discrimination that we have no problem with, right? I don't know if I'm helping my argument at all or not.
I don't think you are.
I just think that we've all decided that is okay. So, all right. Well, hold on. Where do we want to go from here? Do you want to go to that over-medication story, or do we want to talk about tiny houses? I love phrasing it that way, too. Want to talk about tiny houses? That sounds so fucking weird.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about one of those things in just a minute here. See you in a minute. Minnesota Pubcast.
With Suhan Unfiltered, sports columnist for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, Jim Suhan presents in-depth conversations with the best writers and sports personalities in the area. Suhan brings professional journalism flavor without the verbal censoring. Find out what unfiltered really means. Only on the Alive and Social Network. SuhanUnfiltered.com. Join longtime radio personality and producer Kelly Guest and friend, CEO of Fantasy Gifts, Colleen Bertino, as they talk about all things sex, men, women. Lend them your ears and learn everything you wanted to know about sex and intimacy. Only here on the Alive and Social Network.
We're back. Minnesota Pubcast. We can finish that. I'd love to.
No.
Molly's fed up with me because I'm pro-discrimination.
No, I know you're not. I know you're just trying to play devil's advocate. It's just kind of like, fucking come on, dude. There's some logic to this. I get the whole pro-business. It's your business. Do what you want.
Okay, last thing, and we're literally almost to the bottom of the hour. Holy radio term. But we're coming up on halfway through the show here. So I just want to. Do you think there's anything to what I said though about the fact that we're forcing by law, and is there any way that can be a bad thing?
No.
Okay. I hope you're
right.
Fuck
no, because you know what? I hope to God. And I think that's the point. Many laws are in place to protect minorities that are going to be discriminated against. And unfortunately, there are too many people out there that are so fucking ignorant in this world and homophobic or racist or whatever it is still that need that. We need that structure to keep minorities safe, essentially, and to give them the rights that they deserve. Or else we'd be running amok with some fucking nutters in Indiana. We'd all be Memories Pizza.
Are you familiar with A.L. Brown at all? Do you know that name? He's been on with Rosenbaum before.
Okay.
And I did radio with him too. He's a local St. Paul lawyer, and he's really good too. If we ever have another topic like this where it's race or law, he's awesome on both counts.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because I love to debate it, and I can get to that logic side of it, and you know my strong beliefs for it. But when it comes to citing actual legal things that happen, I'm like I would have to sit there and do my research for a few hours before we came on, and I hate sounding ignorant because I like to have my sources backed up. But
and I don't want this show to necessarily be that unless we do get the expert. You know, you and I aren't supposed to be experts. This is supposed to be fun to talk about.
Right. No, and it's interesting to talk about, but it is nice to have at least a little bit of that legal background in it, so you can say, well, you know, this happened here.
Or we can at least blame him for the facts because we don't know any of the facts.
Exactly.
So we just throw it on him. I like that.
I like to say we don't know any of the facts.
Minimal. We keep it minimal. All right, I want to talk about tiny houses. Is that a Mellencamp song, or is it Pink Houses? What is that? Something houses?
Mellencamp.
There's some houses. I swear he's got a song something about houses.
I'm gonna sing it for you in a minute.
There's this trend I keep seeing. I swear it's more on like Facebook. It must be a sponsored ad or these some of these like news stories that I swear you see that they're sponsored. What do you want this? Oh yeah. I keep seeing all these people that are buying like rail cars and turning them into houses, or they're basically making houses out of things that are like 140 square feet.
Yeah.
And at first, I of course was just like, who could live like that? I am always, because I'm an American probably, always hoping for a bigger, better house. You know, always want more square feet, more room, more yard, all that, blah blah blah. But the more I see these, the more they seem kind of cool. Is this Little Pink Houses? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, great song. The Coug. He was just in town.
The Coug.
He should have gone.
I'd see John Cougar Mellencamp.
For sure.
For sure. Didn't he get rid of the Cougar for a while?
Yeah.
Has he brought it back, though?
This is such a good song.
Little basic.
Well, yeah, he's all basic.
That's true. He's pretty bare bones. So anyway, that was tiny houses.
Pink houses. Pink houses.
Little Pink. Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Little Pink houses. No, Cougar, totally fucking basic. But when you listen to any of his songs, don't tell me you go like right back to a barbecue, like on a boat waving the flag.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of what it's 4th of July music. Yeah. It's cabin. It's Memorial Day, 4th of July. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It fits.
It does.
But so there's the trend, this downsizing trend. I think I'm kind of coming around on it. I think it looks kind of cool.
I think you're too tall.
For some of these, literally, there would be some spaces I could not work in. It'd have to be custom built. I mean, it would be everything would have to be 6'6" and higher. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, I could live in a one-bedroom apartment, no problem, as a lot of people do. And I think I think most of these are actually just cooler one-bedroom apartments. It's where do you put it is the hardest part. It seems like these are out in the middle of nowhere. Right. Yeah, like if I could do one of these on a plot in St. Paul, that would be fucking sweet. But I don't even think they would allow you to do it because of zoning, and you can't just tearing down the house and all that would cost you so much money. What the hell are you building a $20,000 house for? You might as well build the multi-million-dollar mansion. So, but I just think it's cool that they're coming up with all these little ways of making a tiny little house cool, like having
eco-friendly. Well,
they're super eco-friendly. I think that's kind of where it started too, where it was about being like sustainable and it's self-reliant and all that.
Sure.
But I mean, the one I was looking at yesterday, and I don't know if you saw the story that I sent, but they have one that a third wall folds down into a patio.
Cool.
Like that's a cool fucking idea.
It's a cool fucking idea. They're all really cool architectural design. I love them.
Yeah, and they're very, very space conscious. You know, a lot of things like they show like stairs that turns into drawers, and a lot of underground space or under the floor space and all that. I don't know. Would you live in one of those?
Oh man.
Would it depend
I'm
on
trying
where?
To think. So right now I live in a 2-bedroom condo with 2 dogs and a roommate, and it's I think like 1,300 square feet. So
that's not tiny.
It's a really good size. I'm super comfortable for 2 people. I could definitely see myself living there with a roommate or a significant other or whatever in the future.
If you had another 500 square feet of space, would you be pissed about it? Would that seem like unnecessary space?
No. And there's like certain parts of my house that I would love to have pushed out. Like there's certain parts where I'm like, oh, this is cute and cozy and I love the size. And then certain things I'm like, it'd be really nice if this had this. But for me, it comes down to storage. Like I have bikes. I'm gonna buy a kayak. It's getting.
You'd almost need a shed
nifty.
next to the place.
Yeah. Or like, how can I build shelving in my? And that's kind of what these little houses come down to: is where do you store all your shit?
Yeah.
And it's also being okay with getting rid of some of your shit.
That I think is a big key.
And
I think it's all about
huge.
lifestyle. This is not about whether you can live in small quarters.
No.
This is about changing how much shit you need to have at all times. And it's just about, I think there's this, I've heard people talk about this in a negative way, and I bet most of these people are over 40 or 50. But they're talking about how people these days, our age, aren't that upset with this, with downsizing, with getting smaller places. And I don't know, I mean, again, the pure capitalist right-winger in me goes, no, this is bad, we're not going to grow if we don't want more and more and more. Like that, to me, that was supposed to be that driving force, the invisible hand. I actually do believe in the invisible hand.
It was a big 90s mindset, right? Like I remember.
The tech boom and everybody's rich and everybody's making more money every year.
And I remember, still driving out to neighborhoods in Delwood where I grew up, and Delwood was kind of like the really typical suburb with huge, gorgeous McMansions.
Wasn't that a gated community?
Delwood's a city, and then there's plenty of gated communities
in there. Okay.
There's lots of gated communities back in there. But that's kind of the point, right? Like these massive homes with the finished basements, and everyone has the pool table and the bar and the swimming pool up back, and it's great. And now a lot of them are up for sale because people, people that all their kids are off and moved out want to downsize, but no one in our generation is buying these homes. There's all these homes that are up for sale.
Is that income related, or do you think we don't have that same desire?
I think both. I mean, thankfully, a lot of these homes for people that are buying, thankfully they're half as what they bought for. So obviously, it's a buyer's market, will be for a long time, and the selling market is coming back a bit. My house has even increased in value, and I think people don't, I think a lot of millennials and a little bit older don't want to be way out in the suburbs in a field with these massive homes, the white picket fence. I think it's kind of moving to this more urban, more for less, essentially, is how I get the sense of it. I have so many friends that are comfortable living in one bedrooms, like you say, or studios, and they don't have any desire to move out anytime soon. Like, I want more space, I have a couple of friends that are looking to buy their first home, and they're ready to like buy a pretty small place and raise their first kids there. So really manageable.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna. Probably a collector or something. I don't. I really wonder if this is a change in mentality, or like we were just saying. I mean, I think it's income and mentality, but I wonder why our parents' generation, because I think, and their parents, I think actually, were the one. What were they running from? Was it because the inner cities were... I mean, okay, I'll be really specific, actually, and I don't know if this is... my parents aren't racist, so I already know that that's not the reason, but like the east side of St. Paul had a huge influx in the Hmong population between, 1970-something and 1990. Like, it was huge. Mm-hmm. And in 88, we left. 88 or 87. 88. And... it wasn't, I know it wasn't like white flight. Like, it wasn't like, oh my God, look at all these Hmong, get out of here. But I think it was just like property values were going down a little bit in the inner city. The suburbs promised, I think you nailed it too with that 90s thing. The suburbs promised your housing value would constantly go up. Like forever and ever and ever. That was just the thought. It would just, there's never more property. There's no more land. Like it's a finite resource. Well, we saw how that went.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that was as much the reason to run.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was
as
because
the space and the big houses and all that stuff.
I think it was because we could, and I think it was because there was, this is going way back and super theoretical, but. After World War II and after the Great Depression and this kind of 1950s boom of suburbanism and the American dream, that continued on until the 90s and then until the housing market crashed. There was always room to grow, and there was always room for more, and there was always room for bigger. It was because we could. Who doesn't want a bigger house? And then we realized, it's not always... it doesn't always work out.
Well, I think also the part that you and I have left out this entire conversation is neither one of us have any kids. Once you move into the family thing, do you still want the minimalist
so many
spot?
Young adults, so many of my friends that are now starting families of their own, they aren't. Some of them are moving back to the suburbs, but a lot of them are choosing to stay in the city in smaller homes and have this kind of tight-knit family. And even if they are moving to the suburbs, it's this more minimalist, lifestyle where I think...
it's not the 4,000 square foot, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, all
that.
Right.
It's pulling away from just being wasteful. I think we're more conscious of being wasteful now. At least I hope we are. I am. I always wanted something big growing up.
Yeah.
And I did. I had it, and now I kind of look back and I'm like, whoa.
Well,
and now I look at my parents who have great homes, and they're having so much fun in their retirement, and there's 17 people in my immediate family between all of me, my sisters, my stepsisters. And so my parents have bought these gorgeous, homes and winter homes for us to all gather there. And it's amazing, but at the same time, it really overwhelms me. The thought of owning something that big overwhelms me. And it's not from a money perspective. It's just from stuff. So much stuff. And I don't know if I'll ever
You mean even
change.
just from cleaning and just stocking,
and
you
buying
got 5 bathrooms, how much toilet paper do you need, and all that shit.
I just want one fucking couch.
Yeah.
My mom has to pick out 4 different couches for 4, and 3 to 5 different living rooms, and it's like, Jesus, and she's having fun because she's retired and it's for her family now, and she gets to do it. To me, that sounds so overwhelming and so... I don't want to say wasteful because that makes it sound bad and not like I'm not grateful, because I am.
Right.
But it totally freaks me out.
Well, that's where I was hoping this would kind of go. What your ideal house? Okay, do you want to get married and have kids? I think we've kind of pushed that, right? How many? Do you have a number in your head of kids?
Like 2 kids.
2 and a dog, nuclear family.
Sure.
Basically, right. Okay. All right. So
sure. The standard nuclear family.
For most people, I think in general, that's kind of what they're looking forward to, and I would say I would too, or I am too. So. So what do you want stuff-wise, house-wise? So you said you wanted a couch. You probably want a nice couch. You're gonna want a
I
nice
just bought
bed,
myself a
right?
nice couch.
Okay.
Bought myself a really nice couch.
And those
I
are
love
so
my house.
worth it. Yes, a couch is worth it. I think that your bed, you should spend a lot of money on
Totally
your bed.
spend a lot of money
I
on
did
your
not
bed.
spend enough on mine. I
No.
got a nice queen size bed, but I should get a nice mattress and all that.
Right.
And the whole works. I think you need a nice TV. A nice
Sure.
TV is
If entertainment's
must.
important to you, absolutely.
No, it's a must. We mean TV, movies. I have to have. If I could, I would have a room that had a 80-inch TV in it, and the room would fit that. That would be nice. Okay, in general. Other than that, what do I really need at home? I don't even need okay, I've always talked about if I had money, I would love a huge bathtub. I mean, I don't take baths, but it's mostly because I'm 6'4" and I don't fit in them either. But
You want a jacuzzi tub?
Yep. Yes. Okay. So I would throw that in there, but that's not a necessity. Because what I was going to say was I just need a shower. All I need is a
I feel
shower.
like we're shopping for a house right now.
Kind of, a little bit. Let's like House Hunters.
What's your must-have?
It's a little mini episode of House
What's
Hunters.
a necessity? What's on the wish
What's your
list?
deal breaker?
What's on the wish list? Yeah, the deal breaker. I'm gonna be a fucking dishwasher and a washer and dryer. That's my deal breaker.
I don't need a dishwasher.
Oh shit! I
will tell you I don't need a dishwasher.
You know what? Actually, doing the dishes on my own isn't too bad. Still fucking hate it.
Okay. I've always lived.
You know what I want though?
Yeah.
I want to hire someone to just come in and hang up my clothes. Like it's not even doing laundry that bothers me.
Just hanging it apart.
No, seriously, I want someone to come in after I've taken the pile out of the dryer, because that doesn't bother me. Take the pile out of the dryer, and then I put the pile. You want to know what I do? This is fucking batshit crazy.
I like this.
I take it and I put on the pile of clothes, or the loads of laundry on my bed, the clean ones.
Yep.
I stared at it for a while, and I'm like, man, I should really fucking fold this, or I should really hang it up. I hate hangers. I hate hanging things, but I know things have to be hanged. And then it gets to the point where I'm too tired to do it. It's like 10:30, and it's like almost time to go to bed. So I take everything and I set it on the floor in a nice pile. And then I wake up in the morning and I make my bed, and I look down at the clothes and I think, I don't have time to put them away right now. So I pick them up off the floor and I put them on the bed. Because I know that if they're on the bed and I see them on the bed, that I'll put them away the next night.
Or you'll at least have to move them. You'll at least have to move them.
And then I move them back. I'm not kidding. This pattern continues for a fucking week. And then finally, I'm like, all right, I got 30 minutes. Like, it's time.
I gotta
I'm
say,
caught up on my Netflix. I've worked out.
I have to say, on behalf of me and the listeners, I think we all feel a little bit better about ourselves right now. Whenever you hear about other people's neuroses, it always makes you
that is my neuroses.
It makes me feel a little better.
My cleanliness is my neuroses, and that is the one thing. And I even put it in a neat pile because I'm so neurotic. I'm so cleanly neurotic.
What are you worried about? Keeping order in your house, or keeping the clothes from getting wrinkled and keeping the clothes
keeping
nice?
the order in my house.
Okay, so the clothes themselves.
I have no concern.
That's why you don't hang them up right away.
Right.
If you did, you'd hang them up right away.
I'd hang them up and I iron them and I do all this shit. I have no concern whether my clothes are wrinkled or not. People are like, your clothes are kind of wrinkly. I'm like, what? But then I constantly am washing my house. Constantly.
Oh, God.
I mean, I do have dogs, so the hair gets everywhere. But no, I am. Nothing can be out of place sometimes. I might be a little organized chaos, but I don't think so. I think I'm pretty clean. You'll have to come over sometime.
Give me your basics.
What do you mean?
In your house of your future. We haven't even talked about size yet. We're talking about just
my
what's
basics?
inside. What do you need inside? We already talked about couch, nice bed.
Mine's just all about interior design.
Oh, so you need things for the look of it as much as anything else.
Yeah. And no, we want it to be comfortable. I want it to be homey, but I am very, I hate new homes. I have very specific visions of how I want my style to evolve into a bigger home, a slightly bigger home. It's not even size per se.
Could you aesthetically then live in one of these tiny houses for that reason?
Oh,
could you make them look like that? I don't know. Because all of them look modern, first of all, but I think that's kind of the point.
Sure.
I think you could obviously retro it or make it a little more...
I would say probably not, because my style is... I love decorating, and my style is very, I love gorgeous furniture, mid-century modern furniture. And so if I had more money and more space, I would probably do more investing in furniture. And
are you constantly moving your furniture around?
No, because my space is small right now, so it only fits a certain way.
Okay.
But that's kind of my thing. It's all.
If you had that ability, are you moving it every month? Are you the couch and the TV?
No.
Okay.
I'm more of a just I'll move art around, or I'll take certain sculptures or whatever I have on my, and rearrange things. But
what is that? Is that a mood thing, or what is that?
Yeah, it's a mood thing or a seasonal thing.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Totally.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. If you have to come over, you can see my style.
No, I want to see.
Then you'll get it.
I want to come over like every month, and I want to see where you're at.
It won't change that much.
Okay,
but I will take the I have some cute vintage seasonal pillows I'll take off, and I'll move, and then my quilts on my bed will change. So I'll switch out my one quilt for my Pendleton quilt. Right now, I'm thinking in my head where I can get new throw pillows.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding.
That is a purchase I have absolutely never made, and I'm going to see if I can go life without making a throw pillow purchase.
Well,
I bet I can do it.
I'm
pretty sure I can do it because I'm pretty sure the gal is going to be doing that. Or guess what? No throw pillows on the couch or anywhere because I wouldn't need them.
I get weird with other people's. Yeah. I get weird with other people's design. When I have new roommates move in, they'll be like, "Can I bring this piece of furniture?" They're like, "It's really great," and I'm like, "Yeah."
You start sweating.
I'm like, sure.
Shaking a little.
Oh my God! I guess you can. And I'll just really casually cover up what they've brought in. like how much of my shit can I cover with their shit? What corner can their shit go in that it's not obvious? So even if it's really nice shit, I'm like, no, it doesn't fit. I didn't pick it out.
Jesus. How much of this is? And God help me say it. Feng shui. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's just in decorating taste.
How much of that is what you're talking about too, where it's just, God,
100%.
It's not physical, is it? It's more how it makes you feel.
Totally.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
It's 100%.
Is that a female or is that just a personality type?
I think that's a personality type.
Okay.
I think for some reason females are more tended to decorating and things like that, and guys are a little. But I know some guys that are very into.
I do too.
A certain style in certain ways and very clean.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have a really specific style, and if I didn't pick it out, and if I'm the same with clothes. People will buy me clothes, and I'll be like, oh, thanks, or jewelry, and it's I'd rather just pick it out.
That's
and I don't
the only place
where
I'm like that. I'm fussy with clothes. It's the only thing other people can't really buy for me. Otherwise, I any kind of. Well, I don't know if I go that far, but I think you've known me for 5 months now, 4 months, something like that. I think you could buy me something that I would put on my wall. I think you know me well enough to do that, and I would do it. But I don't think I could do that for you. That's not going the other way around. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I also not only would I just be easier going about it because I'm not that I just don't care about what I have on my walls and stuff. But I also think that I'm easier to figure out on that too. I'm just an open book. Right now I have beer posters and literally just posters right now. They're not even I should get them framed. They're really cool beer artwork. Do you really?
I do. I have 2 posters on my wall.
What are they?
they're vintage looking posters, and they're hanging up on my wall. Are
they framed?
They're the old school. They're not framed, and that's my big thing. Is I keep staring at them, and I'm like, God, these shit. It's driving me crazy.
You're gonna have them. They should be framed, yeah.
Yeah. But they're cool. They're kind of these vintage, those old drawings that you'd see in nature books, of birds or feathers or whatever. Kind of the sorting, the science sorting of found things. That's what they look like. That's so cool. one is different. God, one is different insects, butterflies, and the other is different feathers.
And they look like kind of that pencil drawn kind of thing?
No, they're colorful, and they have the little the script, the scientific name under it.
Sure, yeah, okay, I can picture that.
That type of shit.
I don't understand.
Anyway, but yeah, that's my thing. I just want a house that has gorgeous architecture, whether it's small or not, and it fits my style really well.
The only other thing that I can think of that I've always thought that I wanted, and
a fucking cool TV and sound system. Let's be real,
that's
dude.
Just that's kind of given.
Some people don't care about that.
Those people freak me out. I will throw this out there actually though too. I do want, and this would take a bigger house and money, but I do want a sitting room. I want a living room with a TV, and then I want the den. Look at this is if I'm rich. I want a den where I get to hide out the guy room.
You want the den? You don't want an open floor plan?
Okay, now we're talking. Okay, we're getting too specific. You're right. I can work with both. All right. I can totally work with both. But what I'm saying is, you got to have those. But I think it's really cool when you have a house where you have 2 couches facing each other and a cool, comfortable chairs, and that's it. There's nothing to distract you in that room. You bring out some drinks, and that's it. I think that's a good thing. You don't need a TV in every room. You don't even need music in every room. No, you don't need a TV in every room. No, I think that's something that's lost upon American culture.
Yeah.
It's now. I
definitely don't have a TV. I have one TV.
In your house? Or
I have one TV in my house.
Really? Just in your room?
In my living room.
Oh, so you don't have a TV in your room?
I don't have a TV in my living room.
Have you ever?
In my room.
When you were a teenager in college?
I had one, and I turned it on every night, fell asleep to it every night, and I have taught myself not to do that. And if I'm freaked out or something, or I'm like home alone, and I'm just a little weirded out, I just bring my laptop and I turn on a movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't keep a TV in my room. I won't lay in bed and watch it.
See, I spend my time when I'm at home. My time's in my room mostly. I mean, that's where I chill. Because I got my nephew and my sister have the living room. And that we're not really watching a lot of the same stuff. I'm not really trying to watch what the hell my 3-year-old nephew's watching, and actually, I'm not even trying to watch what my sister's watching. To be honest, just we have different tastes. All right, let's get our last break in quick. And God, the 2 topics. I mean, just kill a lot of time, but we got more to talk about right here on the Minnesota Pubcast. We'll be right back.
The term foodie can sometimes come across as a tickle pretentious. BT and Lydia are here to demystify the term and reclaim it for the sake of good food. Their weekly podcast brings in fellow foodies and culture creators from the Twin Cities to talk about all things food. Find this duo only on the Alive and Social Network. Legendary Minneapolis-St. Paul sports radio personality Jeff Dubé's energetic sports talk jumps right into the nitty-gritty local sports details you're looking for. No one else is delivering you sports news, current events, and guests with Dubé's gusto. Join him live at any of his bar perches or live streaming Monday through Wednesday only on the Alive and Social Network. Just go to JeffDubéShow.com.
It's warm.
BT dubs before you get to how it's hot out.
Like my belly is sweaty.
It's warm in here. It's actually warm.
It's so warm in here.
It was so hot at Bennett's last night.
I'm so warm. My ears are warm. My feet are warm. My belly is warm.
These headphones don't help with the ears.
And my armpits are warm. I think
deodorant.
I think because it's so. I think because your ears are covered, it makes the rest of your body hot.
It's like
doesn't
wearing
it?
a hat. It's
my
like
butt is warm.
I agree.
I have swaths.
Taking it too far.
I don't.
But no,
I'm not that good.
I almost wore these tonight, but I can't with the sports headphone set I got going right now. But the earbuds, they take 10 degrees off. I'm telling you, we should maybe go to earbuds next week.
No,
I'm going to.
Okay.
Damn it.
I feel like I'd be too distracted.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
okay. You know what? When we're sitting on vinyl, you know how vinyl always gets really hot?
Yes. Yes, it does. Nothing in here is conducive for staying cool right now. But okay, real quick.
It's a great atmosphere, though, guys. Come on down to O'Gara's.
What an endorsement.
Oh.
The music tonight.
It's because they have really good fried food here, and the fryers are going.
Oh, there's that. The music tonight is for your buddy Sam.
Oh.
He asked me last night, he looked up Mood. I hope he enjoys it. Mood is the name of a hip-hop group from the 90s, and Doom is the name of the record that I've been playing the last couple tracks off of. And it is, if you're into underground hip-hop, go get it. It is
so good.
What it's all about. Oh, shoot. What do I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. Well, okay, let's talk about the over-medicating. We got to talk about it. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the way I worded it, and I'm such a dick. But New York Times today, that piece, that it's basically saying that I think we all know we're an over-medicated country, but now are they really trying to say that we're trying to medicate the feelings out of that time of the month? Is that what they're actually trying to do?
Well, I think it's just women in general.
In general?
I think we're saying, obviously, during that time of the month, you're going to get a little, more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Your emotions are going to go up. But I think in general, women are forced in some way to keep their emotions at bay. And if you go into hysterics, or if you cry, or if you're called crazy.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying. I think, and women are feeding into it, and they're going, "Oh my God, I'm crazy. I need to take drugs. So my man doesn't call me crazy anymore. I need to take
anxiety meds. I need to go on antidepressants. I'm crying. I can't stop crying."
And I think that the most interesting points that this piece brings up is that
because bitches are crazy.
That's what makes women women. Though
bitches are crazy.
Well, they are fucking crazy, but
they're not.
It's more.
They're not. We're not crazy.
It's more.
I fucking hate that term. By the way, I think it's such a
It's a cop-out. Because we can't describe what to say. So it's our way. Our way.
I don't give a shit.
Interesting that points out that just women, they, because of evolution, have these different ways of they use their feelings. First of all, you're more empathetic. That obviously would come to very important with childbearing, right? Wouldn't that be pretty? You don't want the mom to hate the kid. Like, that's pretty important.
That's true.
Dad can, and here's where that science comes in there. Dad actually can hate the kid, and the kid still survives. So there's the science of it. The mom cannot. The mom's got to be down.
She has to feed the kid.
And there's more to it, obviously, than that. But I mean, you extrapolate. I mean, there's a lot of things. Why? There's a reason we're doing it. It doesn't just mean you're fucking crazy. Just like I said, cop out. But I love this paragraph. This paragraph right here. It's fantastic. In the days leading up to menstruation, when emotional sensitivity is heightened, women may feel less insulated, more irritable, or dissatisfied. I tell my patients that the thoughts and feelings that come up during this phase are genuine and perhaps but the interesting is that maybe when a woman is that whatever amount of days that when you're having your period, that you're actually kind of more like you're up to normal, and when you're not in that phase, you're suppressed. You're actually kind of suppressing your feelings a bit.
Yeah.
And what this paragraph to me is saying, hey, look at what you're doing the rest of the month. Maybe you're putting up a lot of shit you shouldn't be. But that's what I'm saying. No man would ever say. Hold on. Let's put those 5 days out. Maybe the rest of the month we should go with that.
You also like to group guys in a
that's true, but
I think there are many
Julie Holland, by the way.
Okay.
So.
I think there are many men out there who are sensitive enough to understand a woman's kind of roller coaster of emotions. Roller coaster is a negative term, but
you said it's pretty accurate, though, right?
Yeah, it's definitely accurate.
It's up and down, and you can't predict it, which is the scariest
part to me. You can definitely
predict
it, but sometimes you forget that something is happening or coming, and then you're like, "What the fuck? Why the fuck am I crying?"
Seriously?
The last time I was sitting in my car and I was on Twitter, and I was like, "I'm just gonna check Twitter at the end of the night," and the first thing I read a really sad story about a baby dying. A horrible story. I won't even go into details. It was really fucked up. And most of the time I would read it and say, wow, that was really fucked up, and then kind of push it away, right? And then I was like, all right, back to the feed. We'll go find something better. And then someone tweeted a photo, so it came up on my feed. I didn't have to click in, of a rhino that was poached, and then the baby rhino was rubbing up against the mom rhino that had been poached, like trying to get the mom to wake up. And so I started sobbing, and I was like, this is so, like, why the fuck am I sobbing, right? And then I realized, well, not only is that sad, but I'm also
so not only is it legitimate.
Not only is it legitimate, but most of the time, you read something sad, and sometimes you do cry, and sometimes you don't cry, and sometimes you cry uncontrollably and unexpectedly.
But what I find super interesting about
that
is
that's what happened to me.
But it is every month, so it's not unexpected. But even you get caught off guard.
Well,
right?
I would say every month it's different.
Well, that's true. It's not the same day, but
generally, if you have an increase of extreme emotion, or heightened, I should say, heightened emotion, and you're 3 days before your period, you probably know that you're getting your period. That's probably due to what you're reading, as well as your hormones. So, thank you, RJD too.
I'm not even going to ask the question I was going to ask. We're going to leave it there because it would have been just idiotic. All right.
But ladies, don't suppress your emotions.
That's the moral of the story from the whole show.
And only go on drugs if you really need them. If you're depressed, that's okay. Go on drugs. That's all right. But if you're crying at work because a guy was mean to you, that's all right too. Bye, ladies. Peace.